Hello, what is up guys? Welcome back to Dark Souls Remastered. So in the last episode we left off in Ash Lake, so right now we're gonna warp back to Firelink Shrine and we're gonna buy the final piece of the Gwendolyn set. So while that's happening on screen, I'm gonna explain how this episode is different than the ones that came before it. So I think it's obvious that I record my commentary while I'm playing the game, but for this episode I decided to try something else where I recorded the footage by itself, and then after editing the footage I'm recording my commentary. So I'm just trying a different approach. I would definitely like to know what you guys think about this and if you noticed a difference, but while I'm playing the game sometimes I'll lose my train of thought or something because I have to fight an enemy or something like that. So recording the commentary separately will allow me to basically talk about whatever I want without really getting distracted. So now that I explained that, let's go back to what I'm doing on screen. So yeah, we bought the Gwendolyn set. Now we're gonna head over to the Dark Moon Tomb bonfire, and that is because, as you recall, we kindled this bonfire to 20 Estus. So resting here will give us that 20 Estus, and now we can warp to the Anor Londo bonfire, which is where the Firekeeper originally was, and we're still going to have our 20 Estus. So now from here, I'm going to be walking all the way to the Duke's Archives, which is one of the 3 locations that we unlocked by placing the Lord Vessel. Now, there is a reason why we're going to this one first, rather than the other ones. Technically, we did go to where the Golden Fog Gate disappeared in the Demon Ruins, but we didn't really progress too much into that area. I've been wanting to come here for a while, because there are a couple of really good items that we can get here that are going to help us. First of all, we're going to meet Big Hat Logan here again, and we're going to gain access to a couple of more sorceries that we're going to be using. And second of all, and probably more importantly, I don't like using the Drake Sword, and we can get a weapon I want to try out. I've never really used it before, but we can get a pretty cool weapon here that scales with intelligence. So that's going to be very useful to us, and if it's not, then we really could just use the Claymore. We have a lot of Titanite, or we do get a lot of Titanite in this episode as well, so we can reinforce that. But I think the weapon we're going to get here is going to be pretty good. We won't be getting it in this episode, but we will get it in the next one. So as you can see, we are fighting another of the giant boars. I don't know, I think this enemy's pretty cool. This one is different than the one we met in the Undead Parish, because I think we do see his back. Yeah, we see his back right now. His backside is not exposed, so we cannot backstab this one, and they have pretty high defense with that armor and stuff. So I used some sorcery to take that one out. There is a second one. Also, we can just take a look at some of the scenery here. This game has a lot of little details, like I showed you in a couple episodes ago. I think there was kind of like a mural in the Undead Parish. You could just run by these things and not notice. So, you know, we took a look at that little statue here. Now, we're just running down this corridor. This will lead us into the rest of the area, but there is another boar right around this corner. So I was using power within here. It's not really helping me because I died to this guy a couple times, and the other one a couple times as well. But what I was trying to do was kind of lure them so I would have time to shoot them with the sorcery, but yeah, this was not working. Right here, I thought that roll was good enough to dodge it, but I guess I rolled too early. Yeah, so I was just a little fed up with this guy, so I decided to taunt him. He didn't like that. Now, right there, I thought that he would have to take a second to turn, but he didn't. He just killed me. Now, this is what I should have done from the beginning and just used a melee strategy, because going around to his backside, he can't really hit me. So that's what I did here. And while he's turning around, that gives me a chance to use sorcery. And right here I was just thinking like, I'm gonna die, so might as well try. And you know, we did it. We got another Fang Boar Helm, which I didn't know you could do. I thought that if you got it before, like I did in the Undead Parish, then these guys wouldn't drop it. But apparently they have a % chance to drop it. Even the first one in the Undead Parish has a % chance, so you can miss the Fang Boar Helm at the beginning of the game and then come here and get it. So anyway, that was the first bonfire of the area. Here's an elevator. Also, there's this weird sundial type thing. I don't know what that is, but in this area there's a bunch of weird kind of furniture. I guess they're like scientific devices or whatever. Yeah, we'll see them throughout the episode. Here you'll see there's these blue hollow guys. They're basically just a reskin of the hollows from the beginning of the game, like Firelink Shrine and Undead Burg. In my opinion, I don't really mind there being a reskin, but these guys are pretty annoying because they are very strong. Especially since the channeler guy that's here can buff them. We saw that enemy earlier in the game as well. But anyway, these guys, yeah, they're blue. They have crystals and stuff on them, but they have the same attacks and stuff like that, so you'll see me parry them and stuff throughout the episode because I'm used to these guys' attacks from the beginning of the game. Also, you're going to see that the backstab is going to be very helpful to me here. There are a lot of guys and you kind of get, I don't want to say they're spam, but you definitely have to fight multiple enemies at once, and invincibility you get when backstabbing and stuff like that is very helpful. These archers will really hurt us in this episode. You'll see me die to them a lot because I think when they're buffed, they do serious amount of damage. Their little arrows do a serious amount of damage. Right here is an example of what I was just talking about. We parried this guy and killed him, and in doing that we also dodged like 3 different attacks, so that's pretty good. Also backstab right here. I did speak about in, I don't know what it was like episode 8 or something. Like, some people think the backstab is broken in this game. Personally, I don't think so, but I don't know. I do use it a lot. Anyway, killing this guy is going to be really good because when he dies, he's going to drop a broken pendant. This is basically the last item we need to access the DLC. So that's just another reason why we came here first. This guy is the channeler I was talking about. We saw him in the depths. We saw him in also Undead Parish. Yeah, they have a pretty strong magic attack here, and that little dance they do with the trident buffs them and their party members, I believe. So yeah, he gives like a serious attack buff to the enemies in his vicinity. Also, when you start to strike him and get close, he does this thing where he disappears like Gwendolyn. He doesn't really disappear though, he just teleports to a kind of safer location. In this example, he's just at the top of the first flight of stairs right here. Right here we get a backstab and we dodge an arrow because of the invincibility. Pretty cool. So as you can see, this guy disappeared again before I could kill him, but I don't know, it might seem a little annoying, and I did say some of the enemies are annoying in this area, but I wasn't really annoyed playing this. I do like this area. It is a little difficult because of these arrows and just the amount of them, because there are a lot of archers, but then there are a lot of channelers as well who have the ranged sorcery, of course. Alright, he teleports one more time. This is the second elevator right here. We're going to have to take that soon, but I don't really mind killing all the enemies here. Because first of all, there are some items we can get in this room. Second of all, you can get a good amount of souls from these enemies. Especially we have the coveted silver serpent ring on. That's going to help us. And the sheer amount of them. And they give like 500, almost 500 each one. So that's pretty good. Alright, very nice view from this little porch. Now I want to collect all these souls and stuff because we need to buy the second copy of Soul Spear from Griggs. And that's the final spell we need to buy from him. So we will do that in this episode, and that's why I'm getting all the souls here. Again, another invincibility dodge. Very cool. I don't know why this said weapon at risk. That scared me out of using the Drake Sword, so I just went to using sorcery. But when I check it soon, you'll see that it has about 1/3 of its durability left. So I don't know if that notification plays when it's at like 1/3 durability. I don't know how that works, but in my opinion it wasn't really at risk because it does have a significant amount of durability left. Now this guy almost got us. That was really close. Yeah, right here, I checked the durability. So yeah, like I said, it's about 1/3 left. Now I'm just checking the other side of this, and there's a chest here. We do get a lot of these twinkling titanites in this episode, and I don't really know what else to use it on. Maybe we'll use it for an armor set. We did use it on the Fang Boar helm, and it could be pretty helpful when you're reinforcing Black Knight weapons, but I don't really think we have a weapon that is worth reinforcing with Twinkling Titanite on this run. So yeah, I just came down here to check if there were any items I missed. There was one right here. And this guy dropped a crystal straight sword. We're not really going to use those, but yeah, the crystal weapons, they have a higher attack than their regular counterpart, but they have a limited durability that you cannot repair. So we're not really going to be using any crystal weapons. I never really have. They could be interesting, I'm not sure. So right here, we're almost done with the first stage of what we need to do here. Basically, we're just coming here, clearing out all the enemies and the items, and we come right here, and this is basically the boss room up here, but you'll see why it's not really the boss room soon. I'll explain. I wanted to taunt this guy, but I taunted a little too early, so that was my mistake. His armor set is pretty cool, right? So we can get that later. We're gonna get it in the next episode, but we can get it in this area. I remember I saw a cool lore video on this guy, or it involved this guy and like a theory about him. I think it was by this channel called Hankshaw. Pretty good video, but obviously a lot of spoilers. And yes, we gave him a respectful bow because I think that he really wasn't a bad guy, and we paid our respects to him in the best way we could. We found another Titanite lizard. Does this Titanite lizard have a lot of health or defense, or does the Drake sword suck? What do you guys think? Alright, I really like the aesthetic of this hallway, isn't that cool? I'm gonna equip the Ring of Sacrifice, and that's because basically this is a mandatory death. So I'm gonna put that on so we keep the souls we have. Now, in here, Seat the Scaleless. This is one of the guys we need to fight. Take a look at this. This is the only fog gate that will give you that message. So this is the only fog gate you can leave through once you pass through it. What happens here is that we have to let Seath kill us. Now that we died here, we're basically going to end up somewhere else. So it's as if he captured us. My opinion is that this is an interesting concept or idea, but I don't think it's fair that you have to die to progress in this location. So yeah, Ring of Sacrifice shattered, and we still have our souls in our pocket, right, on the bottom right. And we're in this prison cell. If we didn't have the Ring of Sacrifice on, right, our souls would still be back in Seat's original boss room. So we would have to go from all the way over here to that part of the location to get our stuff back. And it's more likely that we'll die before that ever happens. So, yeah. Now, anyway, we can kill this guy pretty easily. He's got like 1 hit point. And we take the key for this cell. So, yeah, that guy was kind of napping on the job. And also, you might be thinking, well, there's a bonfire here, so why can't you just warp out? And that is a good question. That's what I thought too when this originally happened to me. But this is the second bonfire in the game. If you recall, in the Painted World of Ariamis, that bonfire, you can't warp from that one. And this one is the same thing. Now, there is a little loophole around that. I'll show you later in the episode. But for now, yeah, I just don't think it's fair that you have to die. I think this could have been much better pulled off if there was just like a cutscene or something when you entered the room. Something like that. So other than that, finally, I remembered to repair our stuff. So I just used a repair spell. That's going to repair whatever we got on. And then at the bonfire, I just quickly repaired everything else because that only costs like 10 souls each. Not a big deal. After that, I just wanted to kill these guys. Not really doing anything serious, just getting some more souls. And now we're going to leave this cell room. Those blue serpent enemies, those are called Picasas, I believe. So now we saw the snake guy activate the music, and now the Picasas will be coming up the stairs. So we're just gonna head down and take them out. We can also open these doors here now that we got a key. There are a couple different keys for this area, so some of them we can't unlock immediately, but we will get all the items here. These enemies are pretty interesting, the Picasas, and I'll explain that a little bit more soon once we get to the base of this tower. But for now, yeah, Soul Spear is really good against them. And I didn't realize this, but at least I didn't realize it right now, but they give a good amount of souls, and since we can kill them pretty quickly, they're pretty good for grinding. I knew already that they were pretty good for grinding humanity because they have because they can drop it. They didn't happen to drop any hard humanity for me, but this could be a good option if you want to grind humanity and souls at the same time. How creepy is that music? I don't know, I think that's kind of interesting. But anyway, like I was saying before, I think this area is really cool in how it looks. Like in this section we can see how all the crystals are overtaking the bars and stuff like that. But pay attention kind of to the level design. I think this room is cool, it's interesting. You know, you can't warp from it, you gotta go to the bottom, get the key, and go back up, which we will do. But I don't know, just keep an eye out for that for the rest of this playthrough, because remember I said in a previous episode that a lot of people think that up until Anor Londo the game's level design is really good, and then the quality starts to taper off. I do agree with that, but I don't hate these levels or anything like that. I think these levels are really cool. Lost Islet is probably my least favorite though. That's going to be the area after the Demon Ruins. And by the way, that reminds me, after my first playthrough of the game, like, I was just blown away by... My favorite part is the lore and things like that, the story. So I really like that, the themes, but just the combat, everything, like the level design, how areas looked, environmental storytelling. It was also interesting to me and I really loved the game. And I was thinking, like, what flaws could this game have? Like, what could anybody say about this game? So I started looking up Dark Souls critiques and stuff like that, and yeah, this game does have some flaws, but yeah, I just thought it was interesting that really good parts and things about the game blinded me to the few flaws it does have. Anyway guys, we're almost done with our little mission here. We just need to climb back up onto this platform. We're gonna turn this music off. Basically, I think the only thing the music does is that it makes the Picasas go up the stairs. If you turn it off, they'll just stay in their kind of jail cell room. We'll see that a little later in the video. For now, let's just come over here to this chest. We're gonna get yet another key. And now we can go down to the room below. Now over here are going to be two Picasas that didn't come up the stairs. And they actually do not aggro unless you hit them first. And if you listen closely, you can hear them whimpering and crying. So we're going to go ahead and give them a proper bow before putting them out of their misery. Let's leave it at that for now. Soon we're going to look at some item descriptions, and they kind of discuss this a little bit. So we'll talk about this more soon. Right after this, we're going to talk to Big Hat Logan, who's in the cell right over here.
Hello again. What a chance meeting this is. Alas, I'm imprisoned once again. I don't suppose you could stage me a getaway. The archives. Such a storehouse of knowledge. So close, but just out of reach. The thought offends me so I could simply die. As a student of the arts, you understand me, yeah? Hello again. Alas, I'm in the arc. The thought of...
We did pick up a couple of keys here, but we don't have the one for this cell yet. So we will come back here later. For now, let's take a look at some of the item descriptions. First, we have the key to the cell that we were locked in. The archive tower, once a trove of precious tomes and letters, became a prison after the onset of Seath's madness. The serpent men who guard the prison know not the value of what they hide. In the basement of the tower are the writhing mistakes of the terrifying experiments which were conducted there. So yeah, this is alluding to the Picasas. Now we have a little bit more information about them. They were apparently things that were experimented on by Seath, and they didn't exactly turn out the way he wanted, it seems. Next we have the extra key and the giant door key, so pause the screen if you would like to read those. Now let's go take a look at those miracles we picked up. So from the first line of both of these descriptions, we can see that these are miracles granted to the maidens of Guinevere. So that combined with the crying that they were doing and the keys item description, I think it's implied that Seath took Guinevere's maidens and was experimenting on them for some reason. There's definitely more to this, but that's the basic gist of it. So anyway guys, now we're going to go back up the stairs. So now we can unlock this door with one of the keys I just got. So as you can see here, the rest at the bonfire prompt shows up even when I'm outside the cell. So we could do something cool with that, but I'll show you that in a couple of minutes. For now, take a look at the scenery, take a look at the dome and stuff like that, and all the bookshelves while I climb this ladder. I think it looks like they really did a good job of making it look very vast. This is the giant door that description mentioned. I'm walking on these planks because we can get an item this way. You have to jump down to the next row of planks, but for some reason I got deflected by the wall and I died. But that's okay, because it allows us to look around from the ladder again. So I tried to avoid this happening again by doing the plunging attack, and that worked. I don't know why it worked. But anyway, we got the maiden set along with the white seance ring. If you remember, this is the same set that Rhea is wearing. And don't worry, we'll go find her in a couple episodes, I think. So now we're going to go head back down a little bit because while I was heading up after killing the Picassos, I noticed an item in the distance. And I don't think I've ever gotten that because I wasn't sure how to get it. So I came back here. This is where I saw it. And I left some prism stones because I thought that might help me figure out where it is because it's on the same level. But that wasn't actually necessary. Anyway, I tried to figure it out. I thought maybe I missed something, so I came back to the area with the planks and died one more time. And so I abandoned that. I was pretty foolish because I forgot that there's a door over here. And this is actually where it is. I've never done this before, so I thought this was pretty cool. I think I just never noticed that the door was there. But I did notice it, but I never thought to go try to open it. Because when you first see it, you don't have the key, and then usually I forget about it. Anyway, pretty cool to look around from here. I was wondering if anything else was here, but looks like there's not, so I warped back to the bonfire. I almost forgot that I left my bloodstain here, so good thing I didn't jump off anywhere. Now, as you can see here, if I try to warp, it'll say this bonfire is disconnected from others. But if we rest at the bonfire from outside the cell, then we can actually access the warp function. The serpent men aren't letting me show you this, so I killed them and then did it quickly. So see here, the menu does open and I can select where I want to warp. Sorry that was a little quick, you can rewind that if you want to see it again, but the menu did open. But it wouldn't open if you rested from inside the cell. Now we've done everything we need to do inside the tower, so let's finally leave. You'll see we have a very nice view from here. Before we head inside, check out this view. Now we're going to head through here, and this will take us back into those large rooms with different levels of elevation. As you probably already noticed, the Drake Sword is pretty weak at this point in the game, so that, combined with the Channeler's magic attacks, and their ability to buff other enemies, made this area pretty difficult. By the way, pay attention to the amount of souls I just dropped. Okay, obviously I just made it back to this spot. I'm going in to retrieve my souls and progress. I was focused on beating the Channeler, because I was paying attention to what he was doing. So, I mean, I wasn't even beating him, I just died. But I forgot to pick up the souls first, because that should have been my priority. But now we lost 50,000. And you could be pretty sure that I was raging pretty hard at this point. But the enemies do drop a good amount of souls here, so we definitely can make it back. While you watch this foolish gameplay, let me explain the layout of this area a little bit. Basically, we are in one of two adjacent big rooms. One of these rooms is the one we were in near the start of the episode, with the two elevators that took us to Seath's certain death room. The other one is the one we're in right now. What I'm trying to do right now is get to the bottom of this second room because it has a bonfire and an exit into the courtyard we saw from the balcony earlier. So as you can see, we're approaching the staircase right here. This staircase is actually one of the area's rotating staircases, and we can activate it by using the mechanism that's on it. So yeah, that is a pretty cool feature of this area. You'll see sometimes I turn them multiple times in a row. I'm just doing that because I don't know where to go. So you don't have to turn them that many times. But I'm just trying to figure out how to get to the bottom, as I said before, while also collecting the items and stuff that this area has. You might have noticed that I always run to the end of these balcony things. And I keep doing that because sometimes there's a chest there, so I don't want to miss anything, so I'm checking every one. This is a dead end right here, so we're going to head back to the staircase. So of course turning that will allow us to go onto the upper level on this side of the room. So yeah, that is pretty cool, as I said before. Anyway, as you can see on screen, I'm trying to figure out where to go. And in my opinion, the footage basically speaks for itself. So while you watch this next minute or so, I'm going to tell you a bit about this episode itself. So as I said at the beginning, this is kind of like an experimental format where I am recording this narration in the post-production instead of how I usually do it, which is at the same time as I'm recording the video, of course. Now, at this time of me recording this sentence, I have recorded up to episode 29. So I am almost done with recording the entire Let's Play. And basically, as I just said, this was an experimental video, this was an experiment. So, you know, I tried it out, but yeah, we're not going back to this format because this is just a lot more work. And also, I think I can give better commentary while I'm in the moment, although it is a trade-off because I can give commentary on different topics since I don't have to focus on playing the game, since I'm not playing the game while I'm talking. But anyway, yeah, just an update. So yeah, I think the series is going to come out to about 32 episodes in total, and that should be enough to finish the game. And keep in mind, I don't think I ever said this, but this Let's Play is basically a practice for the Elden Ring blind playthrough that's going to come when Elden Ring comes out in February. So in regards to that, that should also be in the format of me recording commentary while I play. I mean, it is a blind playthrough, right? So you're going to want my blind reaction, not my reaction after I play the game. But anyway, if you have anything to say about this or any opinions or anything like that, you can let me know in the comments. Also, as you can see on screen, we finally found a chest in one of these dead ends. So that's pretty cool. Since I'm back to talking about the footage for a second, let me just tell you that this doorway I'm about to go through after I head down the stairs would take us back to the prison. So I just cut out like 5 seconds of me figuring that out. So that's why there's a fade right there. And now, back to the tangent. So to give you a little bit more context as well, the last video I was working on and the last video I posted was, of course, the Dark Souls 2 Iron Keep walkthrough. But that's just coincidental that this video, episode 21, will come after that video because this video I've been working on for a long time. It's been like 20 days. I haven't been working on it for 20 days, but I recorded it. It must have been, I recorded it about 20 or 25 days ago. And around that time, I was doing a little bit of the narration. I think I did like half of it in one day or something like that. But then I was just thinking like, let me just record more episodes and stuff. So I was doing that. Then I got caught up with the walkthrough. So I was doing that. And now I'm working on this, trying to finish this. By the way, this is the room I was trying to get to. So we're going to go down the ladder that's right here. And then at the bottom of that is going to be a lever. And that's basically going to move a bookcase. Anyway, back to what I was saying. After this episode is done, the rest of the episode should come pretty quickly. I do a regular upload schedule of like about every Wednesday. I post a new episode. But once this episode is done, I'll be able to work more quickly on the episodes because this one obviously takes a long time compared to the regular ones. So what that means is just that for a couple more weeks, it should be like one episode a week, but then I should have enough of a backlog to just like post every day until the series is completed. Something like that. That's the plan. This room is pretty dark, so I was just checking if I missed anything. This next room is going to have a bunch of chests. Okay, so we got an ember right here. Here's the mimic. You might have seen that I was hitting each chest because I was looking for this guy. This mimic is actually the last one we haven't killed in the main game, so that's excluding the DLC areas. As you can see, we actually got 2 items from it, and that is because when you kill the final mimic, they will drop the symbol of avarice, which is basically a mimic we can wear as a helmet. We will check that out later, but basically it will increase our item discovery and our soul gain, just like the covetous gold and silver rings combined. This key we just got is the one we can use to free Logan, by the way. This small staircase right here was lowered by that lever I just pulled a second ago, and this path would take us into the courtyard area. Since we cannot carry more than 99 prism stones, the remainder are left there as that bag icon. At this point I could have went to the next bonfire, which is quite close, but since we got that key, I decided to homeward bone back to the prison. As I mentioned before, the symbol of avarice will increase your soul gain like the silver serpent ring, and the effects stack. The downside is that the symbol of avarice constantly drains your health when equipped. As you can see, with just a silver ring, these enemies give 577 souls each, resulting in 1,731 souls from all three of them. With the symbol also equipped, they give 692 each, and that results in 2,076 when all three are killed. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. After doing that little demonstration, I went down to unlock Logan's cell. Homing Soul Mass and Soul Spear made quick work of these guys.
Hello again. What a chance meeting. Oh, thank you very much. I'm saved. That makes twice. I must be sure to repay you. I will visit the archives. If I discover any new spells, I shall share them with you. Prepare to be impressed by the onward march of sorcery. Hello. Don't mind me. Go on ahead. I'll head out soon. I wish to lay down my plans before I visit the archives. Hello.
I like Logan. Anyway, we're going to run over here and pick up this item. It's a Firekeeper's Soul. We could just head out of here now, but I just wanted to grind a little bit, just so we can make back some of the souls we lost. After that, I went back to the big rooms and headed straight for that bonfire I mentioned earlier. As you can see, we can just take this route down these staircases and get there pretty quickly. Okay, so we made it. This is one of the bonfires in the game we can warp to. So that's going to be helpful because I want to head back to Firelink Shrine for a sec to pick up the last spell from Griggs.
Master Logan is at the archives. Thank the heavens. Finally, his wish has been granted. I suppose he has his head buried in those tomes. That's always what made Master Logan happiest. Ah, I can just imagine him now. 2 things are required. Oh, all right. That should help. May we meet again.
So now we have 2 copies of Soul Spear, and now that we bought the final spell that Griggs had, his questline will advance. Right here I'm going to attune that second Soul Spear, that way we have 8 uses of it instead of 4. So if we go to the right from here, that's where we moved that bookcase with that lever before. And this is the room with the ladder. And in this darkened room, we can find Big Hat Logan.
Hello there. I was expecting you. This place is truly magnificent, more than expected even. As promised, I shall share the new sorceries with you, and the secret of Seath's immortality.
He's got a bunch of spells we can buy, and some new crystal sorceries.
Ah, the secret of Seath's immortality. If you have fought him and were imprisoned, you must know that Seath is a true undead, different from ourselves. His wounds close promptly, and no mortal blow affects him, granting true insulation from death. His wounds close promptly, and no mortal blow affects him, granting true insulation from death. It is an effect of the primordial crystal, a sacred treasure pillaged by Seath when he turned upon the ancient dragons. So only by destroying the primordial crystal can you so much as scratch his hide. And it so happens, the primordial crystal is in the inner garden of these very archives, the Crystal Forest. The tomes stored in these archives are truly magnificent. A great pool of knowledge. The fruits of superior wisdom and an unquenchable desire for the truth. Some would say Seath had an unsound fixation. But his work is a beautiful, invaluable resource. All progress demands sacrifice, and I certainly bear no antipathy for that wonderful, scaleless beast. The tomes stored in these archives are great, and I certainly...
Alright, so we'll just buy what we can while we're here.
Come again. The knowledge here is limitless. I will absorb it, then share it with you.
With that, we're almost done with everything I wanted to do in this episode. Now, there's only one thing left. Getting a sort of hidden item. So, basically, what we have to do here to get this item is go to one of the rotating staircases, right? And then we're gonna have to time our jump and then land on a bookshelf. If you miss this jump, right? Instant death, obviously to fall damage, right? 1 or 2 foolish deaths later, right? Okay, we made it right here. As you can see, the chest is right there. You might not be able to notice it, but without knowing it's there, but yeah, it's right there. Now, as you can see on this first try, you know, instant death. So this section, me trying to get the item in that chest, had to last like 40 minutes at least, 40 minutes plus. So right here, you can see I got my second try right here, jumping off this thing. And what happens? Looks like we made it, right? Looks like we made it, alright. Open the chest, alright. Oh, death. You know I wasn't expecting that. I didn't even really rage, I was just, you know, happy to get there. At least we opened the chest, because it does stay open, I believe. Yeah, it stays open. There we go, third attempt. That was very close. Death. Then, as you can see, yeah, we took all the clothes off. Take them off. We gotta do what we gotta do. Running through here, no defense, getting shot. Yeah, getting ganked, getting shot. What's new? What's new? As you can see, I got a little revenge, I got a little riposte, but that doesn't really matter. We didn't even kill the guy. Low damage. Thank you to the Drake sword. Anyway, you're gonna see a lot of these deaths where I'm trying to run by the enemy. I was just trying to run by, you know. Doesn't work, because they're in the way. Anyway, let's see. 4th attempt? What's going on over here? Another miss, another death. And here we go. See, I'm trying to run by this guy. Doesn't work. I should have hit him. Get him out of the way, right? But I did do that. Then I get shot. Here we go. Trying to run by this guy. Trying to hit him out of the way. Didn't work. Getting ganked. It's the combination of these archers, right? With the channeler's effect. Like, you know, their trident's effect. Like, it raises their, the other enemy's attack. So, anyway, I decided to take a different route over here. This is what I've been doing, should have been doing since the beginning. This is the best route to take. We just go up this ladder right here. Then, you know, we just use this staircase right here. Go up to the upper level. And then head into the other room. And then we're basically right at the second rotating staircase. Obviously, here I didn't make it. I died. Here's the next attempt. Yeah, this is not really working. So that's why it took so long. I think if I was more careful, definitely could have got this sooner. But let's see over here. What is this? Attempt number 5. There we go. The little spin. You know, with that little spin we made, we're going to make it. What do we get? We got the Avalon. Very nice. And, you know, I got that. I got 5,000 in my pocket. So I was like, alright, I don't want to die. So I was like, alright, we're right here. Let's just run back to the first bonfire over the area. And there we go. We made it. We're going to read some item descriptions. Let's check out what we got. First up, we got the Crystal Knight Shield. So that's not the Crystal Knight Shield, you know. That's just a crystal version of the Knight Shield. So it's just going to have better stability, but, you know, we're not really going to use that. Next, we got the Caduceus. How the fuck you say this?
Caduceus.
Next up we got the Caduceus Kite Shield. You already know I looked that up. I don't know what a Caduceus is, but now that I looked it up, it's Hermes' staff. So the more you know. Anyway, I've used this on my only dexterity run, but anyway. Next we got the Avalon, yes. So this is what the hell we were jumping for. Repeating crossbow cherished by the weapon craftsman Idas, or Idas. Its elaborate design makes it closer to a work of art than a weapon. Intricate mechanism makes heavy damage possible through triple shot firing of bolts, but in fact each bolt inflicts less damage. Alright, pretty awesome. Not that we're really going to use that, but pretty epic. Dragon Greatsword, I don't think we looked at that. This sword, one of the rare dragon weapons, came from the tail of the stone dragon of Ash Lake, descendant of the ancient dragons. Its mystical power will be unleashed when wielded with two hands. Then we got the Maiden set, very nice. So yeah, this is Rhea's set. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.